Astros Game 1 World Series tonight. Max Scherzer and Garrett Cole beginning a string of incredible pitching matchups in this series. Astros manager A.J. Hinch was asked if it would be easier to face a traditional starting rotation as opposed to bullpen games they faced against the Yanks and the Rays.
Yeah, I'm the last person that's going to tell you it's easier to face Scherzer and Strasburg in the first couple games, and just because they're traditional pitchers. You know, we're at the point of the season where these are elite teams. We went through Tampa, incredible team, the Yankees, incredible team. Now we have the Nats, incredible team. So these pitchers are all really good. How they deploy their guys is it is what it is. I mean, I think when we'll see how much easier, quote unquote, easier it is to face a guy a second and third time, but with the type of pitching that we're going to face out of the rotation with the Nats, I'm not sure you can use the word easier.
If you look at this whole series, both sides got unbelievable starting pitching. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. I just want our club to go out there, have fun, and just play the game like we're capable of playing, and kind of focus on the little things.
How about that bombshell from Dave Martinez saying both sides have great starting pitching? Tell us something we don't know, Skip. Garrett Cole started the season 4-5. In the 25 starts since, including the postseason, he's 19-0. The ERA 1.59, and in the postseason, that ERA is under 1. David Sampson is here to tell us some stuff that we don't already know. He is going to pick the edge for each team in this series. And let's start with starting pitching, because that's where this series begins and ends, don't you think?
Do you see the bags under my eyes, Hassel? Right here. Do you see them? No makeup, bags. Here's why. I stayed up quite late last night. I'm going through these pitchers. I'm thinking about what it would be like to face them, what my approach would be. What am I saying to my team? What am I saying to my hitting coach? And I'm realizing there's no break. You've got 6 starters, the first 3 games of this series. What am I excited for if I'm an offensive player? I'm excited for the challenge of being the first guy to beat Garrett Cole. Since May, can we do it? That's the approach the Nats have to take. Not that he's 19-0, it's that he's simply a tired starter in October. That's what you do when you're on offense. But when you look at the depth of these starting rotations, remember these rotations, these 6 guys, Chris, each team is paying more to them than the Rays' entire payroll.
Jeez.
Each, just these 3 guys, more than the whole Rays team. And the reason why you pay starting pitchers is because you need starting pitching to get the ring. Who's my edge? How do you not go with the Astros? By a smidge. Strasburg's pitching for free agency. Scherzer, if I had one game to win over the last 5 years, it's Scherzer, but I would hope he's not facing Cole. So Scherzer, Strasburg is a 1-2 punch. Fantastic. Corbin has a slight edge over Greinke in the number 3 hole, but Cole and Verlander, I got to go Houston by just, you can't shine a flashlight through it. It's just that big.
I don't know how much of a role the bullpen is going to play in this series. Of course, at some point, we're going to get to the bullpen for every team, but who has the edge once it gets there?
So this is interesting. It's not like we have a Mariano Rivera. When you look at these closers, Daniel Hudson, yes, he's had a very good postseason, has not given up any runs. Osuna just blew the save in Game 6, but he's been very reliable this season. The real question will be which offense will pick up the bullpen. Meaning, when you blow a save, bullpens are blowing saves this time of the year because their arms are tired. There will be a minimum of 2 blown saves in this series. Which offense picks up the pitcher who blows the save? If I have to give a tiny edge in the bullpen, I do have to go Astros because they're deeper. Don't worry about the fact that they're all right-handed. A lot of people are saying that today. Juan Soto is jumping for joy because there's no lefties in the bullpen. Let me just explain how you get lefties out when you're a righty. You basically throw a slider down at the back foot of a lefty, and that's as effective, if not more so, than a left-handed pitcher. So don't believe the hype that no lefties means that Juan Soto is going to be the World Series MVP.
So you've got the Astros with a slight edge for starting pitching and bullpen.
Slight.
Let's move to the bats. Who's got the edge, the hitting edge in this series?
These are 2 great lineups. The Astros are a deeper lineup, but they are struggling more than the Nationals are. This is going to come down to 4 star players. Who will have the better series? Rendon and Soto versus Bregman and Altuve. You tell me how to bet against Jose Altuve, Chris. How do I do it?
You can't.
I don't think you can. Bregman, will he have a World Series as bad as his LCS? Is it possible?
I don't know that it's possible.
He'd have to take a collar.
Same with Yordan Alvarez. I mean, he was 1 for 25.
Can you go
in the
worse?
CS.
Yes, 0 for 25. That's the only way to go worse. Astros.
Okay.
Edge.
Manager. One of them has a World Series ring from 2 years ago. That would be A.J. Hinch. The other one was almost fired a couple months into the season.
So I believe that Hinch, here's the two things. Martinez has a lot of help behind him. I didn't love that press conference when he was in his civs. I'd like to see him in
I
union.
couldn't even recognize him.
Right, no hat, right? And you just want him to have the Nats logo. Martinez does have a lot of help behind him. He's got great scouts, great people in professional scouting, great assistants to the GM under Rizzo. A.J. Hinch just has a deeper bench, and he's been there before. Martinez is going to say he's not nervous. He's going to say he's fine. He's going to go like this because of his heart, which thank God he's healthy now. But if he thinks his heart's beating before, I'd skip the Red Bull before the game. DM, skip the coffee. Believe me, your heart's going to be going. That edge definitely goes to A.J. Hinch.
Okay, starting pitching edge to the Astros, bullpen to the Astros, hitting to the Astros, manager position to the Astros. Is there anything left?
Yes.
Intangible.
Yes.
And who has the edge there?
The Nationals.
Could that be the equalizer in this series?
No,
Oh.
but it's still awesome. Why do the Nats have the intangibles? They feel a lot like the team that I was a part of in 2003. When we came out of the wild card, we then beat the San Francisco Giants, who were supposed to be unbeatable. We then beat the Chicago Cubs down 3-1. We then beat the New York Yankees. Oh! And everyone was counting us down, except we had a record that was better than the Yankees' record since May 31st. We were the hottest team in baseball that entire summer, but everyone overlooked us. We were huge dogs. That's how the Nats feel. The difference is the Astros today are way better than the Yankees of 2003. The rotation is way better. The offense is way better. The lineup is way deeper. Everything is better about this Houston Astros team than the 2003 New York Yankees team. So while the Nats have that feeling of destiny, you want them to get that ring. You need them to get that ring. Will they get that ring? Astros in 6.
Astros in 6 is the prediction from David Sampson. So you do think this is going to be a series, that the Nationals will get a couple of games, but what about tonight? Who gets off on the right foot in game 1?
I haven't picked a game right since Howie Kendrick hit the grand slam in Game 5 against the Dodgers.
That was a couple weeks ago.
So I'm fading myself. What I do is I decide who I'm going to take, and I go the opposite way, and I'm undefeated. Right now, the Astros are 2-1 favorites over Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
It's way too much. But I'm taking the Astros, but I'm betting the Nationals.
Okay, so you think the Astros are win, but you're going to bet the Nationals because there's too much value there.
Yes.
Okay. So David Sampson pulling a little audible. He didn't know that the line was that far shifted in favor of the Houston Astros. So that's where he's going tonight. It's the Washington Nationals plus almost 2-1 to win game 1.
What could go wrong? Take the 2-1.
Heart tells him that it's going to be the Astros to win this game and to win the series in 6.
Head, I have no heart.
This will be the first World Series since 1945 to feature 6 of the top 20 ERAs in baseball. The Astros have 3 of the top 10. The Nationals have 3 of the top 16. Let's go out to Houston. CBS Sports Major League Baseball writer Matt Snyder covering the World Series for us. Matt, put this starting pitching into perspective for us. What are we about to witness in this series?
History. This is a historically good rotation versus rotation matchup. I went back and I just looked at the divisional era, and this is the first time that we've had 2 teams with 3 legitimate aces. These are absolutely aces. 2002 was close, but 2001 was close, but the Diamondbacks only had Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson. Only had those 2. Again, this is the first time in the divisional era that both teams have had 3 aces, and we could go back a lot farther. This is one of the best rotation versus rotation matchups that we've ever seen.
Look, it's been a week since the Nationals have played. I'm sure some of their fans are thinking that may have cooled them off. And I think some Houston fans are hoping that this break cooled Howie Kendrick off. Any chance that he is going to be able to bring the bat he did the first 2 series of the playoffs to the World Series?
I actually think it's kind of the opposite. I think it's better that they got the rest. Remember, Howie Kendrick's kind of old, relatively speaking. I mean, I'm older than he is.
36,
but for a baseball player, he's kind of old. And the rotation guys, they had to lean so heavily on Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin, even bringing them all three in relief multiple times. So that they got this rest, I think, was a good thing. Now they can line up the rotation how they want. The arms are not overused. They only can really rely on Doolittle and Hudson in the bullpen. They got to rest those guys. I think the rest is a good thing. And we have had examples of teams that had a long layoff and were terrible in the World Series. I think about the 2012 Tigers. But we've had opposite examples. People just forget. The Red Sox last year had 5 days off. The 1995 Braves had 6 days off. They won the World Series. So it can be a good thing. Think about the Braves last year. Or 95. They were heavily relying on the rotation. So maybe this is a similar situation. But also the Astros are really good, so there's also a chance that they steamroll them.
Well, the Astros are sticking with one player that has not brought his bat, at least not the last series. Yordan Alvarez going to start probably the first 2 games at least of this series. He batted .313 in the regular season, .316 in the division series, and went 1 for 25 in the ALCS. What is going on?
I think you have to continue to give him a shot, and that's what A.J. Hinch is going to do. I feel like the Yankees scouted him really well, and they found holes in his swing, and that's going to happen when there's a rookie. So he's going to have to adjust to the adjustments. The Nationals surely are breaking down tape of what the Yankees did to him, and they're going to pitch him in similar fashion. I would expect that he's probably going to have a down series again because the Nationals are really good at scouting like the Yankees are, but you never know. He's so talented. He hit well in the ALDS. He was so good in the regular season. He could bust out.
The Astros a heavy favorite. The last time we saw a favorite this heavy was back in 2007, and the Red Sox swept away the Colorado Rockies. These are the odds for exact results here. And Matt, tell us what you like. I haven't heard many people lean to the Nationals here, and that's understandable because of the odds and how good the Astros have been and that they've proven it. But it does seem like the Nationals are the team of destiny.
Yeah, I like the Nationals' odds here. I think that the smart money is on the Astros, but there's money to be made on the Nationals here. And yeah, there's a big discrepancy between the two teams' records, but remember the Nationals started 19-31. Ever since then, they've been just about the best team in baseball. This is not a case like the 2007 Rockies where they got hot for basically 1.5 months. This team's been this hot since the middle of May. They're this good. So I like the odds on the Nationals.
Nationals in 7 at 6-1 odds, according to our Matt Snyder, who is in Houston, ready to cover Game 1 of the World Series later on tonight. Game 2 is tomorrow. Then we'll have a travel day. Remember, it is 2-3-2, so the middle 3 games will be in Washington, if needed, of course, for Game 5.